Welcome back, everyone. Today we will look into solving and graphing inequalities. Here's our vocab. We will be looking into a couple different types of problems. Simple graphing, solving and then graphing, and we will be solving equations inequalities where we will have to multiply or divide by a negative. In order to solve an inequality, we will use inverse operations to isolate the variable, just like we would do to an equation. When multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative, we will flip the inequality sign. In order to graph an inequality, we will first decide whether the starting point is an open or closed circle. Then we will draw the arrow in the direction that makes the statement true. In order to decide whether we should be using open or closed circle, we will be looking at the inequality sign. In our first example, inequality sign is greater than. In the second example, inequality sign is greater than or equal to. The extra equal to helps us fill the point. Here are our first examples. Let's isolate the variable by adding 3 to each side. We will have 2x is less than or equal to 6. Divide each side by 2. X is less than or equal to 3. We are now ready to graph. On your number line, here is the center of it, 0. 3 is going to be somewhere in here. Since it's less than or equal to, we know it's going to be filled point at 3. And we want the x values to be less than or equal to 3. The values that are less than 3 are on the left side of the 3. So we're going to draw our arrow or shade this direction of the number line. On our second example, we are going to add 6 to each side. We will have 3z is greater than 27. Then I can divide each side by 3. We will have z is greater than 9. We are ready to graph this one as well. Here is 0. 9 is going to be somewhere in here. Then since we only have a greater than sign, our point is going to be an open circle. Then x values are greater than 9, more than 9, bigger than 9. Numbers that are bigger than 9 are on the right side of 9. So I will put my arrow to the right side of 9. Here are you try 1 and you try 2. Go ahead and pause your video and complete each of them. Our next example deals with multiplying or dividing by a negative. Our goal is to isolate the variable. In order to isolate the variable, I'll subtract 2 from both sides first. We will have negative 3y is greater than 12. Please pay attention to the fact that my subtraction stayed in front of the term and turned into a negative sign. Now I will have to leave the y alone by dividing each side of the inequality by negative 3. Because we are dividing the inequality with a negative number, we will change the direction of the inequality. Y is less than negative 4. We can graph this. 0, negative 4. It's only less than, so we are going to have an open circle, and y values are less than negative 4, smaller than negative 4. Numbers that are smaller than negative 4 are on the left side of negative 4. Go ahead and solve your u-try. let's solve something a little bit more complicated where we would deal with multi-step inequalities. To solve this type of inequality, I will first distribute everything that needs to be distributed, get rid of the parentheses, and then I'm going to try to isolate the variables only on one side of the inequality sign. We will have 4x minus 20. When we distribute to negative, that would become negative 6 plus 3x. Negative times negative makes positive. Less than or equal to 2x plus 10. Let's do combining like terms before trying to gather the variables only on one side. Positive 4x, positive 3x together will make 7x. Negative 20, negative 6 will make negative 26 together. Less than or equal to 2x plus 10. Let's subtract 2x from each side to get the variables on the left only. So you will have 5x minus 26 is less than or equal to 10. We will add 26 on both sides. I have 5x is less than or equal to 36. Then if I divide each side by 5, x will be less than or equal to 36 over 5. If I were to graph this, 36 over 5 is a positive value, little over 7. So 0 is here, 36 over 5 is here. I want the x values to be less than or equal to 36 over 5. Filled in, less than that number to the left. Go ahead and complete your U-try. Here's our last example. On this one, we are trying to write the inequality from the graph. If we are going to look at the graph and we are going to write an inequality, each inequality is going to require a variable. So choose a random variable of your choice, and I will choose y, and I want to write y is greater than y values are more than negative 6. My critical point is at negative 6, and I am looking at the y values that are more than negative 6, greater than negative 6. Because you have a filled point, you're going to use greater than or equal to negative 6. For the next one, you can choose any variable again, and your critical point is at negative 1, and you want the values, m values, that are smaller than negative 1, less than negative 1. Because it was an open circle, I leave simply one less than sign, not less than or equal to. Now, go ahead and complete your U-try 5 and 6. Whenever you're choosing your variable, choose a variable with the first letter of your name. If your name is Harrison, your variable would be H. If your name is Allison, your name would be, your initial would be A, so your variable would be A. So choose the first letter of your name as your variable. That way we will know that you actually watched the video and follow the directions carefully. Please bring any questions you might have to the class.